Hello, everyone. Mike Starks with Remax Town Country here, bringing you the 2024 Mid-Year Real Estate Market Report for Fredericksburg and Gillespie County. It looks like another year is just zooming on by. It's hard to believe I'm already doing a report for the first 6 months of the year. But anyway, here we go. As usual, I'll start off by just talking about all the sales that have happened in Gillespie County and Fredericksburg for the first half of 2024, and then we'll compare to the first half of 2023. So for the first half of 2024, we've sold $163,930,000 worth of real estate as compared to the first half of 2023, where we sold $176,056,000 worth of real estate. That's a decline in total dollar sales of about 8.86%. And if you look at the total number of individual properties that have traded hands, in 2024, we've sold 216 individual listings as compared to 237 individual listings in 2023. So that's a drop of 6.88%. And if we look a little bit closer at that drop, we're going to see that the majority of the decline in the total dollar sales was in residential properties, with the hardest hit being in town homes in Fredericksburg. So if we look at the city of Fredericksburg for 2024 for homes, so far we've sold $39,655,000 worth of homes in Fredericksburg. And for the first half of 2023, we sold about $46,114,000. So that's a pretty big drop of 16.28% year to year. And the number of homes sold in the city limits show about the same result, with 71 homes selling for the first half of 2024 and 80 homes selling in the first half of 2023 in the city limits. So that's a decline of 12.67%. Now, when you first hear those stats I just spit out, you're probably thinking, man, Fredericksburg's home market is really taking a beating. And from the perspective of total sales, we certainly are down, but pricing is actually holding steady and even showing a little bit of improvement over last year. So in 2023, we ended the year with an average home price of $282.92 per foot. And for the first half of 2024, the average home price in the city limits is $288.12 per foot. So a very modest increase of 1.83%. But the point being, though, that even though, total sales are down, prices remain relatively steady. And, I am seeing some cases where the seller just really wants out and they're making more concessions than usual. But I think that's more than the exception than the rule right now. And really the same can be seen if you just look at the average price of a home as well, because like in 2023, the average price of a house in the city limits was at $554,886. And as June 30 of this year, the average home price in the Fredericksburg city limits is $558,527. So again, very modest, but hey, it's a 0.65% increase. And I think a lot of the reason that we're really not seeing any huge crash in the market in Fredericksburg is for the reason I've mentioned in the past a lot of times, and that's because the majority of our buyers are cash. In 2023, of all the sales that happened in Gillespie County, 57% of those sales were cash. And if you're really getting a loan since 2008, 2009 crash, lenders have been a lot stricter on lending guidelines. So we're really not seeing much of a rise in mortgage defaults, which means even though it may be taking longer to sell a house, provided you're not in a big hurry, you're likely just have to wait a little longer to get it sold than you would have in 23. And just kind of show you a quick graph that this shows you the overall 90-day delinquency rates for different loans. The yellow line that you see is home mortgages. You can see there that since the big crash in 2007, 2008, home mortgage delinquencies have really remained low because folks who got a loan could afford the note. Even with the harsh inflation that's been happening in the past few years, people can still afford their home. And although you can see where the inflation is hitting a lot of folks hard, that green dotted line is credit card debt. And you can see the spike in delinquencies there, where people are just struggling to buy groceries and having to use their credit card to pay daily expenses. But anyway, I'm getting off subject now. So point being, I'm really not expecting to see any huge shift in prices for the rest of the year. So let's move on to another favorite topic, short-term rentals in Fredericksburg city limits. So for the first half of 2023, we sold 21 short-term rentals in the city limits. In 2024, we've sold 31 short-term rentals in the city limits. So 47.6% increase in the total short-term rental sales. And if you're trying to sell a short-term rental, that probably sounds like a great news, but honestly, the big jump in the number of sales is mainly because we just have more STRs on the market than we probably ever had before in the past. Like right now, we have 66 of the 195 homes, total homes for sale in the Fredericksburg city limits being STRs. So that's about 33% of what's for sale is an STR in the city limits. And STR prices are still outperforming single family sales. As of the first 6 months of 2024, the average STR price is at $465.16 per foot. You compare that to the average single family residential price at $288.12 per foot. So still a big difference in pricing. And as I mentioned previously, it's going to be really interesting to just see how far that spread between single family homes and STR grows in the coming years now that the city's made it really hard to get a new permit. So moving on to home sales on acreage in Gillespie County, we're running about this even with 2023. For the first half of 2024, we've sold 46 homes on acreage worth about $42 million. You look back at the first half of 2023, we sold 45 homes with a worth of about $46 million. So really no big news there other than that homes on acreage remain pretty much unchanged. Now, what we really have been moving a lot of is raw land and acreage this year. So far for 2024, we've sold 2,147 acres. And for the first half of 2023, we'd sold 1,314 acres. So that's a pretty hefty increase of 63.39% in the total number of acres sold. And that's also reflected in the total dollars that we've sold, where in the first half of 2023, we'd sold about $39,140,000. You compare that to the first half of 2024, where we sold $51,817,000. And the average price across the county, we're currently sitting at $24,125. And just for a quick breakdown of the different segments, as of June 30th, a 1 to 5 acre tract, the average for price per acre there is $55,364.73. A 6 to 10 acre tract is currently bringing $42,227.70 per acre. 11 to 25 acre tracts currently $21,628.82 per acre, which is a little bit down on that segment. And then 26 to 50 acres remains really strong, with the average price per acre being $31,424.53. 51 to 100 acres currently running $19,844.49. 105 to 250 acres average right now $16,236.67. And 250 plus acres, $14,992.12 per acre. And to wrap up, just a quick look at commercial sales, which kind of like homes on acreage remains pretty much in line with the previous year. So 2024, we've sold 7 commercial properties in Fredericksburg for a total of $7,258,000. And in 2023, we'd sold 7 properties as well. Just they were worth a little more, so $11,613,000. And as I reported before, a fair bit of the commercial transactions that happen in Fredericksburg never make it to MLS to be recorded. But for the data we do have, it shows commercial activity is still running about the same as last year. So that's the 2024 market report for Fredericksburg and Gillespie County. I'm really guessing that the rest of the year will trend pretty much like the first half of this year. Slower volume overall, prices holding pretty much steady. A lot of what happens beyond this is yet to be seen. I mean, obviously, we've got an election coming up. We have to see what the Fed does on rates in the coming months, although I really don't think there are going to be any big changes there either. But we're also looking at a lot of external pressures on the economy, like, BRICS looks like it very well may end up doing away with our petrodollar, and that's going to hurt our economy strength, no doubt about it. Not to mention, you know, who's going to be trying to blow up their neighbor in the next year. So a lot of uncertainty, but again, I think overall we'll see a pretty stable market. And with everything happening in the world right now, I can't really think of another country or another state I'd rather be than here in the heart of Texas. So anyway, that's the market report for now. As always, you can find all these stats on my site at mikestarks.com under the market report tab. If you have any real estate related questions, feel free to give me a call. And as always, thanks for watching.